How are you today, Eleanor?
I'm good, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So, last time we talked, session, you had some ambivalence about working out. Since then, I understand that you've been walking, correct? Yeah.
Yep, I've been walking.
How's that going?
So far pretty good. I've been walking 3 times a week,
Mm-hmm.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I walk for about a half hour,
Okay.
and I walk around the green, and it's going pretty good.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. So, also in our last session, you briefly mentioned about something about your eating habits, and you had some concerns about that. Is that something you'd be comfortable talking about today?
Sure, sure. We'll talk
Okay.
about it.
Well, let me just remind you that before we begin, jump into that, that everything we say here is going to be held at the highest level of confidentiality. So, I just want you to feel comfortable and know that this is a safe place and you can share with me freely. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. So tell me about your eating habits or what your
Um,
concerns are about.
my eating habits. All right. Well, first of all, I found out I'm pre-diabetic,
Okay.
and so I'm concerned about junk food because
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned about my eating habits because my eating habits consist primarily a lot of junk food and a
Okay.
lot of fried food, a lot of potatoes, a lot of pasta,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of things that could make go another way. So I'm concerned about it because I really know that I need to quit the junk food, but I like the junk food.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Junk food is almost it's easy, it's convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm busy a lot, and so uh, I can just run while I'm out shopping or doing something. I can run and I can stop get something, almost eat it while while
Mm-hmm.
I can multitask. I can
Mm-hmm.
eat and do whatever I'm doing. Um, and I find myself recently though eating late at night because now I'm working from home,
Mm-hmm.
and so your computer's right there, so it's kind of like it doesn't cut off at 4:30. If I decide, I want to come in and do some work that I didn't do earlier, I
Mm-hmm.
can finish doing the work. And so I have a tendency now to go to bed a lot later, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm hungry, so I find myself eating even more bad stuff. But it's kind of like a companion for me. It's comforting. Mm, I like it. I like to eat, and I like to eat stuff that's
Mm-hmm.
not good for
Yeah,
me.
most of us do.
Yeah. So
Okay. So just to clarify my thinking and to sum it up, um, so you like junk food because it's convenient, and at this point, because you're working from home, it's ready, it's accessible, it's easy to get to,
hmm
and it's just no preparation in it, and it's comforting to you,
it sure is.
right?
Yep. Yeah. It's a good point. It's like 5 or 6 steps away,
Right.
and I can kind of get to the food.
Okay.
And it kind of gets me through. It's also like a rewarder. Kind of gets me through the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go get something if I'm doing something and I'm feeling a little stressed about it. Go get me something to eat. Go get me some potato chips, or go get me some ice cream, or mostly potato chips. Or if I've got a pasta dish, I'll put something in the microwave, and I'm good to go.
So you mentioned that it was comforting. How is it comforting to you?
Uh, it's almost like, I don't know if I want to say it's sedative, but it kind of calms me down. It's gives me, I don't know another word for comfort. It just makes me feel calm and content. Content, I guess, is
Mm-hmm.
it,
Satisfying.
yeah, satisfied. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
So on one hand, you recognize that. Well, on one hand, it's the junk food, the potato chips, the ice cream, the pasta. It's satisfying and it's comforting. Um, and on the other hand, you recognize that it can jeopardize your health because you're already pre-diabetic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I recognize that.
All right. So you're not currently taking insulin. How do you feel about taking insulin?
Oh, I don't think I would like to take it.
Mm,
So that's the only reason I would probably feel like I need to do something about the junk food because I don't want to get to that point. But right now I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I got a little time, I think, but I need to be thinking about it.
That's right. Okay. So you understand changing your eating habits would circumvent you from having to take insulin.
Oh yeah, my doctor is always talking about it. I mean, he's the one that got me at least starting to walk. But yeah, I know. Yeah, I recognize that. Yeah, if I did something about the eating, and yeah, probably stop me from having to take insulin
That's
because
right.
my it's in my family. It's genetic almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who in your family has or had diabetes?
The question is, who didn't have it?
Mm-hmm.
My mother had it. All of her siblings, her mother, her my brother who passed had it. I don't know if the other brother that passed had it. Just um, anyone on at least on my mother's side, they all had diabetes.
Diabetes.
I'm not so sure on my father's side, but definitely everybody on my mother's side
Wow.
has had diabetes.
So it is. Yeah. So that's something that runs in your family.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like you're contemplating some changing your eating habits. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm contemplating.
Contemplating. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question then. On a scale to 1 to 10, how important is it to you that you make a change in your eating habits?
I guess it'd be any given day. Right now, it's probably a five.
A 5? Okay. How come not a 4 or 3?
Uh, well, I guess the five is probably because I know I need to, but realistically, in terms of my actually putting it to implementing it, it probably is like a three or four. Um, I know I should, but I'm not sure I'm ready right
Well,
now to
well,
give it up.
you're saying implementing it, but how important is it to you from the scale? So if you say it's a 5, why isn't it a 3 or 4, or 4 or 3?
Because I'm feeling like it should be a five.
Okay.
I'm feeling like I should make it important. It should be pretty important to
Yeah.
me.
Okay. All right.
But in terms of my head's not quite there yet.
Okay.
But I feel like I, I said five
About 5.
because I know that's probably more realistic.
But,
I mean,
okay.
I know it should be something even more, but I feel like that's realistic.
Realistic for you
Hmm.
for importance.
For importance, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's say we can move 3 or 4 years from now. How do you view your eating habits 3 or 4 years from now? What do you think your lifestyle would look like in terms of your diet? How would you like it to look? What does it look like?
Well, I like for it to be. You said on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably like for it to be closer to 10 in terms of importance, and probably in 3 or 4 years. I think that's enough time for me to get where I need to get to. So,
And where would that be?
mm, it would be eating better.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I'd be 3 years older, and so the older I am, the more
Important.
yeah, important and concerned I need to be about my health. I mean, I'm concerned about it now, but I need to be even more so. So
Okay.
I see myself. I probably see myself really eating better.
Okay.
I hope I'm eating better.
So 3 or 4 years now, you're going to be eating better. How confident are on a scale of 1 to 10? How confident are you that you can make that change?
How confident am I that I can make that change? Still about a five.
About a 5 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, why not 3 or 4? As far as your confidence is concerned.
Well, because I think really, I feel like I should be thinking that way. I think I should be thinking that at least I should be at a five. Cause right now I'm dealing with how I'm eating and feeling now, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's hard for me to project something different.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So But 3 or 4, I mean, it's like I'm not giving it any effort or any thought, or you know.
Okay. So then that would go to like my earlier question is, so at this point, changing your eating habits or stop eating junk food since you're not taking insulin is really not that important.
Not right today, this
Hmm.
particular day.
But there will come a day where if you don't change,
Yes,
then you would have to be
yes,
taking
I'll
insulin,
have to be taking insulin.
and that's something you had indicated that you did not want to do.
No, I don't.
Okay, so knowing at some point that you'd have to be taking insulin, is there knowing that, how confident are you from a scale from 1 to 10 that you would make that you want to make that change? It still can be a 5. I just wanted to remind you of something
Hmm.
that you said
Yeah.
earlier in our conversation. So it still can be a 5 if that's the case, but keep in mind that at some point, that it runs in your family, you would have to take insulin, and that's something that you indicated to me that you did not want to do. So with that being said, and just reminding you what you said prior, from a scale
Well,
of
the
one
more
to
I hear the word insulin and having to take insulin, which means having to have my finger pricked, I'll probably be closer to a 7 or 8.
8, okay. All right.
Yeah, I really don't want to have to do that.
Okay. All right.
That
All right. And so you would make that change. So, and that's good. That you want to, because obviously health is important to all of us, and you want to have longevity in life, and you've identified that you have diabetes in the family, and you already explained to us that you're pre-diabetic. So you want to plan for that. You want to plan for making that change, right? So you're in the contemplation stage, so you want to make a plan. So changing your eating habits, with some of the things that you mentioned to me about easy access, planning, having limited time to plan for meals, and it's just easy and it's comforting. How would you plan for that to change your eating habits? How would you plan for it? What would you do?
hmm. Well, I guess I'd first have to start. I guess I would start with my shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would shop better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right now it's probably you know maybe certain aisles I'd have to avoid because right now I immediately go to the snack aisles,
Okay.
the ice cream aisle, in the things that are prepared easily, like the little meals, the
Mm-hmm.
frozen meals, the
Yes.
pasta meals. Um, I'd have to start kind of like planning my menus and then planning and then shop for those menus. Shop, based on the menu. Uh, I, I guess I have to put more time in that. I have to start cooking,
Mm-hmm.
which is something I don't do a lot of.
Okay.
How would I start planning? That's all I can think of. I'd have to.
So is the issue for you at this point, is it time management? Is it time that you don't have time to plan meals, you don't have time to shop, and that the um the junk food is just easy and convenient? Is it that you would need to make more time? Because I remember in our last section, and I'm just trying to connect the dots and recollect from our last session that um, time management was an issue.
Yeah, well, time management's an issue with me. Period. Yes. Well, yeah. I have to start managing my time a little different. Or yeah, putting the what I my meal preparation and my
Mm-hmm.
meal my shopping and stuff. I'd have to kind of carve out some time for that
Mm-hmm.
because right now it's kind of like there's really no planning that much with my currently the way I eat and
Mm-hmm.
how I obtain my meals is kind of like I'm hungry and I'll decide if there's something in the refrigerator that I want.
Mm-hmm.
or if I need to just go get something fast food or go to a restaurant and pick something out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd also probably have to look at my budget a little bit, plan my budget,
Mm-hmm.
because some things, I can go to McDonald's and get a hamburger for $1 and some French fries for $2. I got a meal.
Mm-hmm.
So, my budget might I have to maybe
So
look
your
at that a
budget
little
might be a
different.
factor as well
Yeah,
to eating
yeah,
healthy.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's been my experience. I've heard. I've had other people share with me how they were able to manage time as well as their budget and still remain, and still they were able to eat healthy and they've had good results from that. But again, from our last session to this session, it seems like time management is an issue for you. Do you mind if we can talk about that a little bit right now?
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
Sure.
So, and if I recollect correctly, you talked about procrastinating. Tell me about tell me about that, because I think all of this is intertwined and connected in regards to you working out. You've been able to carve out time to work out. I know for a long time that was something you were ambivalent about, and you had mentioned is just a time. Now you've been able to carve out some time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So since that's work in the past, we're trying to make a connection of what we can do in this instance, to see how we can carve out some time so you can do meal preparations and stuff like that. So what did you do? How did you fix your time management for the walking? Because I know you had a busy schedule then. So tell me about that. How are you able to manage that? Because that worked. That was successful for you.
Mm-hmm. I guess I just decided to do it well. Whenever I go in, have my physicals or anything, or even any time I had to see my doctor, was always talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And other, relatives were, talking about how they walked.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I try to balance. It's like, well, I need to do something. And also I've been kind of stressed a little bit. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just try the walk. So I tried to go to bed a little bit earlier so I could get up earlier. And I did it like maybe one day, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was like, okay, maybe I'll try it. I don't know if I'm going to want to do it every day. So maybe I'll do it every other day and see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it the second day, and I was, it's like, this is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of made up my mind that I was going to do that, but kind of felt like I was ready for that. So I've been able to carve out that time. Yeah.
Okay. So, and just to sum up what you just said, so to clarify my thinking, it sounds like you had support from, your doctor, you had support from your family, they were giving you some information, and just your own resilience and determination, you decided that, hey, this was something I needed to do. Does that sound correct?
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing anything in that?
No, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we just got to make that transition over into your eating. Is there anything that, now going back to how you could plan for it, as far as using those same resources and tools, you had support from your doctor, support from your family, your own self-determination, and you've already indicated that it's your health is important because you don't want to take insulin. So that confidence that you can change has gone a little bit higher because of that. So using those same things and support groups, how do you think you could plan for it now? You had mentioned one of the things is that you said you would go, you went to bed, you were going to bed earlier and getting up. That helped with your time, right? So how can you apply that, how can you apply that strategy to this in terms of eating healthier and circumventing some of the, now, mind you, I don't mean to interrupt, but mind you, eating healthy doesn't mean you have to cut out all the junk food, but you're eating it in excess. So how would you then use those strategy for your walking, apply them to this scenario? How would you plan for that?
In terms of like the time management, I can see I can see some windows of places that I could carve out some time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just have the television on just for companionship.
Mm-hmm.
I can, during the time that, and a lot of times I'm not even looking at it, I'm kind of thinking of doing other things. So I could come out, I could carve out or cut out some of the TV time that I spent doing that. I could actually sit down at the table and think about what would be healthy. And also, I've had my sister who kind of almost went on almost vegan for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but who was telling me about some things, some different things that she makes, and doesn't have to all be vegan
Mm-hmm.
kind of things. And she's told me like some different meals and things that I could do. And
Okay.
so I might consult with her again. I was just kind of ignoring what she was saying, but I know she'd like to share that information with me.
Mm-hmm.
And there even in terms of some things that you can buy, like, since if I'm concerned about having to cook so much, I saw that she had a lot of vegetable things that they substitute, like pasta meals that I would like. They
Mm-hmm.
can substitute like vegetables for like spaghetti squash or something. Kind of has the same consistency as spaghetti, but it's
Okay.
vegetable.
Okay.
So I could do some things like that. I
Okay.
could carve out, the time from the TV and sit down, do some meal preparation, and really think about it.
Okay.
What I could do.
That's a plan. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So I'm going to share some information with you that you may be um, that may be some interest to you. Are you familiar with cognitive behavioral therapy?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No.
So that that's therapy that's been helpful to a lot of people. It's been my experience that they've used this therapy to help people change how they think or modify how they think and help them in your scenario, in other scenarios as well. If I'm confident with this therapy from your past experience, since if you've already applied some of these strategies towards, for your walking, and that's been working for you. Um, this therapy, again, it's been my experience that it's been successful with people wanting to just change the way they think and change some habits. I have some information about that. I can give that to you, and when you go home, you can look through it. If it's something that you're interested in, what I can do is make a referral, and I can get you connected with someone who can talk to you more about that therapy. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Mm, sure, I'd like to see the information.
Okay, I'll set you up for that. But again, I think you're on the right path. I'm very confident that you'll be successful if you continue, planning. Because again, it seems like you have a real great desire to change. You want to be healthy. So let me get this information to you. I will give you some brochures, and again, if you're interested, I'll get you connected with someone who can give you some more information about that.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in. So you have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you.